The most dominant force in the last 20 years of rugby league, the Queensland Maroons. They won 8 series in a row, they won it last year, and Billy Slater is looking to win it again. What's going on, guys? Burgz here from The Casual Athlete, and today I am joined by my good friend Nathan Wilson. He is a Queensland fan and Broncos fan, but was born in Wollongong, and I have a big issue with that. So without further ado, Nathan's actually drawn up a pretty good, some of you might not think it's too good, Queensland team for us to take a look at. Nathan, why don't you take us through the team, mate?
So number one, I've got Kalen Ponga. My wingers are Cobo and Coates. In the centres, I've got Holmes and Gagai. Munster and DCE, obviously, in our half pairing. I've got Welch and Tino in the front row. Hunt at hooker. Capewell and Felice Kafusi in our second row. And Pat Carrigan out in our lock. On the bench, I've got Harry Grant, obviously. No surprise there. That's always a staple. We've got David Fafita coming back into the side. Tom Flegler. And also a newie, Corey Horsburgh.
Big Red.
My 18th man is Reece Walsh, though, so he is in the side.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Yeah.
The big talking point that I think has come out of that team reading there that I would first look at is Kalen Ponga. And I know that he has been very good for Queensland in the past, possibly transcendent for Queensland. This year, though, I'm a bit down on him. I made a Kalen Ponga video the other day, and, you know, he is not really finding that form at club level, but seems to always turn up for Queensland. Why do you think that is?
I think he just plays well in the big games. Like, if I'm going on big game experience so far, Reece Walsh, just this season alone, coming up against Parramatta, probably was going to be their toughest game of the start of the season, did not show up.
Okay.
Even though they'd scored a lot of points and everyone else was doing their thing, it just wasn't theirs. And the same game with Souths. Like, was he even on the field? The balls weren't kicked to him. He just didn't get his hands on the ball. He was running fast whenever he did get it, but a lot of mistakes ended up in no tries being scored. And I just don't think he's going to be able to handle that big game experience. Interesting.
I would agree with you there in saying that Ponga has played in bigger games. He's only played in 2 finals games, though, in the NRL. He's had a lot of time out through injury this past couple of years, though, with head knocks being a bit of a repeated part of his game. And no question, he's got the flashy skills to be able to do it, and he's done it at that level before. Did it for Queensland last year as well. So the other guy that I thought might get a shout here and has been having a fantastic season to this point is Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. Now, I'm a bit interested to see that you didn't put him in your back 5 as well. Was that a tough decision for you?
That was a tough decision. I think he's been playing remarkable this year for the Dolphins. I don't know if he would have gone as well if the Dolphins weren't in the 17 this year. Yeah. He's been playing really well. It was hard between him and Coates, I think, but I like the idea that we've got 2 young wingers. We can keep them on the wing for the next 6 years after we do another dynasty, perhaps.
Coates, I think, also probably beating out Murray Taulagi at this point, just with the way that the Cowboys are moving. Yeah. Holmes and Gagai, they're set and forget guys. You know, I don't think anyone's coming in to replace them anytime soon. I thought Gagai, though, had a bit of a down year last year, actually led the league in missed tackles, which is something you often don't see from Dane Gagai, but he has definitely stepped it up in the first 9 rounds this season. Munster and DCE, probably the 2 best halves pairing that you can get from a Queensland team. They've done it for years, and DCE will probably captain the side. The question then comes for me with Hunt or Grant. Do you start one, bench the other? Definitely, but which one do you start? You've gone for Hunt, and I see a lot of people go for Hunt. Did it for Queensland last year, and with the Dragons this year, it's a little, up and down.
He's a really strange, he's a halfback. Mm-hmm. We put him in the hooker role for Queensland. I think he just does the job. He does his job every single week. I don't know if it's just because it's a bad Dragon side that's just not doing anything this year or the last couple of years. But I think if you can start Hunt in the start, first 20, 30 minutes, Harry Grant comes on, fresh as a daisy, ties out the New South Wales forwards, and starts again in the second half, and then Ben Hunt comes in and completes the rest of the second half. I think intercept tries are just his forte, and he's going to keep doing that.
Yeah, fresh Harry Green is always a massive threat. The back row, interesting. I think Felice Kafusi, potentially his spot is up for grabs. I think with Nanai not having a quite together year has probably helped him gain that spot back, Felice Kafusi. And Capewell, the ever-present guy there on the other edge. Pat Carrigan, unstoppable. You're a Broncos fan. You've been watching Pat Carrigan over the last couple of years. What have you seen from him in the last couple of years that has just told you that he could be the lock for Queensland for the next 5 to 6 years?
I think it stems from just the way he carried himself through high school up until when he started playing juniors and like all the way up until when he was in the reserves for Brisbane. I think he's just got leadership qualities like no one else. I think he's just absolutely dominant. He's still a young guy. I think it was in the last couple of seasons for Brisbane, him and Pat Carrigan and Brodie Croft actually captained the side together. I think he was 21 years of age.
Brodie Croft.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
But that was not in our good period of being an absolute dominant force within the NRL Premiership. But he's just shown those leadership qualities since he began.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that I think Adam Reynolds loves having in the team because he takes the pressure away from Adam Reynolds to be able to lead the team around the park, and Adam Reynolds can just go about, do his business, focus on kicking the team into good spots, and Carrigan can really organise the defence. You hear him a lot when tries are scored. You know, when the team's coming back, he's constantly reminding everyone of their job because he knows his own to a T. Yeah. And that's what you kind of need from these leadership guys. I think he's a possible captain choice after DCE leaves the team as well. On the bench, you have gone for some interesting guys. A guy that wasn't there last year, David Fifita, has made it into the team. Tell us all about that.
I think he's doing really well this year. I think at Titans side, bit flimsy at times, but David Fifita's just been so strong. Like he's just doing so well. Him and Tino just working really well together. That's why I've got them both in there. I think 2 forwards from the same team really going to help that domination.
Yeah, I think the one thing David Fifita has that a lot of second rowers don't have, he's got X factor.
Yes.
He's so hard to bring down, and this year you're right, having a phenomenal year with the Titans being a bit better than they were last year as well. Definitely helps David Fifita. They're getting him more ball. Switch sides as well, I think, has also helped him in the last 12 months because he's back on that left side doing the job that he needs to do for the Titans. I think the other mention that I would have had in here is a guy like either Josh Papali'i or Lindsay Collins, but you've gone for Flegler, which I find very interesting. You don't think Papali'i's done enough in his Origin career to maintain that spot?
I think he served us well. I think he served us really well. I think he's been a starting prop in Queensland side for the past 4 or 5 years.
It's potentially 10 years,
So he's just a stable. But I don't know. Is it time to bring us fresh meat? Like get us fresh meat in there, big boys. Flegler has been playing really well. He's easing up on his anger issues, I think, on the field, which is hopefully going to be a good thing, but still keeping that dog in him.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Broncos fan that I just want to see him get in there. A young bloke, helping the likes of Pat Carrigan in there and just having...
So the Broncos bias did come in.
Maybe it did.
Oh, okay. No worries. But I think with Josh Papali'i, it's one of those things where he's been a little bit injured this year as well. You can't exactly expect him to come in and play at the high level that he has played for a long period of time. Yes, he's done for Queensland before, but I do agree with you in saying that Flegler is probably going to be there for the next few years to come. So it's good to blood him now. The other guy that I thought could get a really good shout was Lindsay Collins. He's a guy who I think is leading that Roosters pack around at the moment. You saw the fight that he put in the other week where his head was completely cut open. Something that you love to see as a football fan. And he kept trying out there. You know, it's one of those things where he doesn't give up. He's had a couple of head knocks, but it's nothing too serious. I think I'd like to see him play for Queensland, but... yeah, with Flegler and the way the Broncos are travelling at the moment, I think Flegler's a good pick there. The last guy into the team, Big Red. Corey Horsburgh, he gets the spot over, I believe you were tossing up between him and Jermaine Hopgood. Is that right?
Yeah, I like the idea of bleeding in new blood. I think that's a quintessential part of Queensland team. I think if we're bleeding them early, then we're getting them good big game experience, and then they'll be able to continue being a competitive force within the back line, just letting all the other players come through. I just love his energy. He's got that Queenslander spirit. He is Queenslander. If you sit I like Big Red. Big Red. We used to have Dylan Napper in the team, so I don't know. Maybe we just need another redhead.
Oh, you need a few more rangers going around, which is interesting. Yeah, look, I think with Corey Horsburgh, he's been working to that for the last couple of years. Had a bit of a down year last year. Didn't really find a solid spot in that Raiders team. I think with Adam Elliott being there, he was kind of pushed out a little bit. This year, though, has definitely stepped up his game. And that Raiders forward pack, while the Raiders themselves aren't doing that well at the moment, the forward pack is a very good fixture to watch every single week. Yes. Okay, guys, with Corey Horsburgh being the 17th pick, that is Nathan's team. We'll put it up for you guys on the screen again. Let us know what you think down in the comments. And if you like this team, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. We're bringing out so much more content in the next couple of weeks, guys. So stay tuned for more.